I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I coach people. I do career and leadership coaching. I help people in their job search and once they're on board in a new role. And today I thought I would talk with those of you who are retirees, who are considering doing some version of work, about different kinds of jobs or careers that you could enter into in order to be in contact with people, make some money, stuff along those lines. And I want to start by saying I specifically titled this as Who Want to Take It a Little Easier, because you can obviously continue doing the kind of work you've done throughout your entire career, work on a full-time basis and continue on. But I want to differentiate it with a little bit easier. So here are a couple of things that you might consider. And the first one is freelancing. Now, freelancing is hard work. You'll hear me say that with a number of these. There's a responsibility that comes with freelancing to appeal to a client and make sure that they're happy. But you could freelance at the work that you've done previously and be able to turn up some interesting work. And there are sites like Freelancer or Upwork where you can find gigs along those lines, as well as on Craigslist in your local town. So again, consider freelancing. Number two is you could be a substitute teacher or teach part-time. Now, I'm not talking necessarily about the school system, although with sub-teaching, that's exactly what it is. But part-time, there are programs at community colleges, there are programs at schools of different sorts where you might consider teaching. It's hard work. So, again, I'm going to keep saying that where I think it's appropriate. You could be a house sitter or a caretaker for someone who has more than one home. So, for example, the town I live in, there are people who have homes here, they have homes elsewhere, spend part of the year here, they spend part of the year there, and they want to have someone check in on their home. You can either live there, or you could start a business where you're checking in according to a schedule to make sure no pipes have burst, no one's broken in, stuff along those lines, in order to ensure people that their home is well cared for. You can work at a resort. That's one of my favorite ones on this list. And there are a variety of different professions that you could do at a resort where, and this is going to double up with one later on, you could function as a concierge and book tickets for people. You could work at a front desk. You could do this at a resort. You could do this at a hotel. Both of them have similar types of careers where you could do this kind of work. Doesn't have to be for major hours, but you can put in time working at a resort or at a hotel, doing this kind of work. You could do tax preparation, which obviously has a busy season associated with it. There's a tax person I know locally, and she is busy from, I'd say, February through October. It's a half of year of really focused work where she's putting in a lot of hard hours. She's in her 70s, generally good health, but the rest of the year, it's not quite as crunch-worthy, if you understand what I mean. You could do pet sitting. You could start a pet sitting business in your area where, people may not want to walk the dog or they want their cats to be fed while they're away. You could set up a service where you're doing this for people and get paid for it. You could obviously work retail. You're on your feet a lot. That may not be a lot of fun. You could be an event staff. And I know when I lived in New York and I would go to the theater, there were the people who would seat you, hand you a playbill, and you'd be able to, they'd be able to serve you in that role, answer questions, enjoy the show, eventually get bored with the show or the performance. But event staff is a role that you can do. You could do that at stadiums where you're seating people as well. Lastly, there's the classic driver. Now, these days with Uber and Lyft, there are lots of opportunities for people to drive. It's not easy work, and you're dealing with the public who not all the time is going to be particularly nice. But it's clearly a profession that people who are older are doing in order to earn income. So hope you found this helpful. I'm not endorsing any of these. You have to know yourself and to know what makes sense. You have to know what makes sense in your local community, because you're not going to be traveling hours to do this kind of work, right? So if you'd be interested in my help, if you have some questions, reach out to me either through PrestoExperts.com, where you place a phone call to me, or you could do it through an app called Magnify, Magnifi, where we could have a video chat via an iOS device. So Magnify is only iOS. So the best way to do it is either send a chat message to me on Magnify, and we'll set up a time to speak, or through Presto Experts. Hope you have a great day. Take care.